Hola amigos de Wine News TV, les invito a conectar conmigo y con mis invitados en Wine News TV On The Go, un podcast que a su vez es un espacio donde aprenderás sobre el mágico mundo del vino a través de invitados de todas partes del mundo que nos contarán sobre sus proyectos para obsequiarnos de forma embotellada música, fuego y leones, como decía el gran maestro argentino Jorge Luis Borges en su poema Soneto al Vino. Wine News TV llega a ustedes gracias a Aerionet, nuestro aliado en velocidad y confiabilidad. Gracias a ellos, cada episodio y cada contenido que subo en las redes fluye sin interrupciones. Sube rapidísimo. Si tú también quieres un internet que no te falle, llama al 787-273-4143. Entra a aerionetpr.com o búscalos en redes como @aerionetpr. Vamos arriba. Hola amigos de Wine News TV, el podcast. Estoy una vez más aquí en el salón de cata del Almacén del Vino de B. Fernández en San Patricio. Hoy tenemos un episodio maravilloso con una bodega que hace unos vinos extraordinarios de Napa Valley, de California, el Lerner Project. Estoy con el señor Stu Lerner. Did I get it right?
That is correct.
Do you want me to go by Stuart or Stu?
You can go by Stu.
Stu. All right, Stu, thank you for being here with us. You got in Friday, you said.
Friday night.
How has it been so far in PR?
It's been fantastic. You know, we were a little worried about what the weather was going to be before we got here, but everything's turned out fantastic. Met a lot of new friends and been able to share our wines with a lot of people on this trip.
Not hard to visit a tropical Caribbean island, right?
Not at all. Not at all. My second visit came last year, and when I was here last year, I said to my wife, Karen, I said, you're coming with me next year.
Okay, so you came by yourself.
Came by myself with our hospitality, director of hospitality last year.
Fantastic. And you've been in the local market not so long ago. I mean, for not a long time. I think it's 3 years. Is it fair to say 3-4 years?
3 years.
3 years. Okay, tell me everything about the project, but first, I want to get to know you a little bit, whatever you can share about how you came to be in the wine industry, whether you're a Californian by birth, your family, whether you were exposed growing up to wine, whether your parents were wine drinkers, when did the passion for wine first start? A lot to unpack there, but take it little by little, like your relationship with wine since you can first recall.
Well, I grew up in Southern California, grew up in a baseball family, really didn't drink wine at all. I didn't start drinking wine until I was in college. I was had wine coolers because that was the cheapest wine I could get with 7-Up. But what I remember is when I moved to Northern California after I graduated college, and my first real job was working in the pallet industry, wooden pallets. And so my first customers were the wineries in Napa and Sonoma. And my first order came from Robert Mondavi himself.
Okay, wow.
And that was exciting. Even back then, he was a big name.
Of course.
But Napa was starting to get on the map around the world. And after I was done selling the wine to him, the pallets to him, he offered me to go down and do a wine tasting. So that's kind of how it all started.
That was your parting of the waters moment?
Yes, but I was still only a white wine drinker at that time.
White wine, okay.
You know, growing up in Southern California, you need stuff a little colder.
This is when, 70s, 80s?
This is in the early 80s.
Early 80s, okay. Were you a Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc kind of guy?
You know, I was a Fumé Blanc when they
Fumé Blanc,
made that way back when.
Mondavi was actually who came up with that name, very particular name to it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I got invited to Robert's 65th birthday party as a preferred vendor. I was sitting at a table with another vendor, and he said, "Hey, have you tried the red wine?" I said, "Well, I don't really drink red wine." He says, you should try the red wine and you can have as much as you want tonight. And so the first red wine I ever had was Opus One.
Oh my God! Talk about debuting in the big leagues. Yeah, fantastic.
Well, I got hooked at that.
Of
point.
course. It couldn't have gone any other way. And so, and you stayed in the pallet business for a number of years. That's how you made your money, your career, your profits. And when did the idea to either, and you'll tell me all about the fact whether you have land or not, when did the Lerner Project, or whether you had a previous project, when did that came to happen? Like, when did the idea first pop in your head?
Well, the first idea popped in my head was when I tasted the red wine.
The Opus One.
Opus One. But I've always had a passion for wine. I'm an enthusiast. I collect wine. I've been collecting wine since the early 1980s. Couldn't afford much back in the early 1980s, but I've enjoyed meeting and talking to many owners and winemakers over the years, and I've had a passion to do something in the wine industry. And in 2014, after I had finished my pallet career for 40 years in the pallet business, I have ADD, so I told my wife that it's hard for me to retire. I need to do something, and so I wanted to do something in the wine business, and she told me her only thing was, please don't make this another hobby. And so we decided to open up Lerner Project with another partner in the business. His name's Russell Bevan. He's a rock star winemaker.
He is.
From Napa Valley, and he's not just our business partner, but he's our winemaker.
And a friend.
And a good friend. I've known Russell. I read an article from Robert Parker in 2006 about this new guy coming into the Napa scene who had the best texture palate of anybody he's ever met. And the quote was, he was like making wine out of his pickup truck. So I had to meet the guy that was making wine out of his pickup truck.
He's had a couple of 100-pointers, a couple of 100-point wines. Yeah.
37 since 2011.
Yeah, he's a master. And before we taste, so you bought land, you bought grapes from growers. Where do you have an actual winery facility that people can visit?
So when we started the project in 2016, with Russell, we decided that we would start off buying just fruit from really high-end vineyards.
Of course.
And then we would make different types of blends with those grapes. I had promised Karen that going in this business that we would not buy a vineyard. That lasted 1 year, and I had to convince her that it was a good real estate deal.
Of course, yeah. You always find how to approach the topic by making it sound like a good idea.
Well, she's smarter than that, but...
She knows you. But she knew it was a good idea as well.
But so we purchased the Armstrong Ranch up on Diamond Mountain in May of 2017, 5 months before the fires happened in 17. And it was pretty scary. Thought Karen always asked, with the fires that were happening, was this a good investment? Right. And I would tell her, well, I guess we're going to find out. Yeah. But the fires were about 400 yards from the property. Wow. Some of our friends lost a lot, but we're up there on top of the mountain and we feed right into the canyon. So we do have a lot of air support and a lot of CAL FIRE support. So we've been able to dodge both fires, the 17 and 20. Yeah. But the property has the oldest Cabernet vines left on a mountaintop in Napa Valley.
Who did you buy it from?
Tom and Jane Byrne. Her maiden name was Armstrong. So we kept the name Armstrong Ranch.
And were they wine producers, winemakers? Did they have a winery themselves, or they just sold the fruit?
So they started, the vineyard started producing fruit in the mid 80s. And the fruit originally went to Rombauer.
Know Rombauer quite well. Yeah.
So the first Cabernets off the property went to Rombauer. Then most of that product went to Treasury
No treasury as well?
Behringer. So all this went into the Behringer Reserve.
For the high end, of course. Pin Diamond Mountain, Napa Valley, of course.
So in 2017, we worked with Treasury, and so we had a contract with them, and we were able to expedite the contract so we could get the fruit earlier.
And the name, Lerner Project. I mean, my dream is to eventually one day, and my wife would kill me if she listens to this, is to also have a winery. You know that old joke that you become a millionaire in the wine business by starting off as a billionaire? You know, I dream with one day, I'm 48, so I think eventually I can do it. I'm halfway there, I guess, in the game of life, or a little more than halfway. But I've always thought, what name would I use? How would I name a winery? Obviously, it's your last name, but did you have a problem, or was there a big sort of brainstorming sessions with the family on what the name of the winery was going to be, or you always knew it was going to be the last name?
Well, it wasn't going to be the last name. Originally, we came up with a dozen different names.
Can you share one or two that didn't?
Do you remember any of the names? I'm asking my wife Karen, who's listening on right now.
I can't think of.
Or like a funny one, the crow flies on the mountains.
We were trying to think of, you know, maybe a name with like a, you know,
nature related
or a Latin
right
name, something about family.
Exactly.
And everything that we came up with
was already taken.
Okay. And your sons participated in the idea?
Not only our sons, but just very informally, we told our friends that if we pick the name that you suggest, you'll get the first case of wine.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, so they that
gave them
an incentive to think hard.
Yeah.
Because when I first saw the name here, it reminded me of this band, the Alan Parsons Project, a fantastic band from the '80s.
Yeah.
And then I saw the Lerner Project, Project 18. Andres Lugo, dear friend, who has supported me since I had, I don't know, 10,000 followers. This is maybe 10 years ago. Gifted me a bottle of the Project 18, and I was just blown away by the quality of the wine. And Lerner Project, it's a cool name. The logo, is there a message behind the triangle?
Well, triangles are power of three.
Okay.
And so the original three founders.
The two of you and Russell.
Well, Karen and I were partners, and then we had a original person who started with us. He was the M in the RMS, Russell, Matt, and Stu. Now it's been replaced by RKS, Russell, Karen, and Stu. And the K is a lot bigger than the R and the S.
Yeah. I love that. I love the fact that you're a funny man who adores his wife. But the
Lerner Project, the name, the Lerner Project, the short story is I've been Karen's project for 40 years. The long story is that there's another winery in Santa Barbara called Lerner. And Lerner, nobody's ever called me Lerner, nobody's ever called them Lerner, but I reached out to them and said, hey, would you have a problem if I call my bottle Lerner? And everybody in the family agreed, but they had to get their sister to sign off on it. Her name was Monica Lerner. I don't know if you've heard of Monica. She works for the Wine Advocate. She runs.
Yeah, of course.
She runs all the Italian.
Monica,
wines.
Of course. Yeah, I know Monica.
And so Monica said, you know, I would rather not have Lerner. So do you have any other names? And that's how the Lerner Project came aboard. And since then, Michael and Monica have been up to the property and tasted with us, and she made a comment going like, I'm sure glad you called it Lerner Project. I think you guys will have a great success with that name.
All right, great. Let's get into the first bottle. Cheers. This is Project 18, or the 18 is from the vintage?
So this project started in 2018, but this vintage is 2019.
Okay, tell me everything listeners should know without getting too technical about this wine.
This wine was developed during COVID. People could not come to Napa, and we could not go see them. So we reached out to a bunch of steakhouses, and the steakhouses had said, is there we would look at taking a wine in for under $100, a Cabernet. So I challenged Russell to make a wine that was top of the top of wines under $100. So this retails at $99, and Jeb Dunnick rated it as the second highest wine in the United States.
Jeb Dunnick. Yeah, I know Jeb. This is unbelievably rich and expressive on the nose. That cassis, mint, graphite, that rich, luscious fruit. So expressive. Is it a blend or is it 100%
So it's 75% Cabernet. It comes from 3 of our Cabernet sources. It comes from the Tench Vineyard in Oakville. It comes from the Huey Vineyard up on Pritchard Hill. And the Cabernet also comes from our estate up on Diamond Mountain, the Armstrong Ranch. It's 20% Merlot and 5% Cabernet Franc.
It's just this massive amount of rich, lively fruit that never becomes sweet because it's so well balanced by the tannic structure, and there's this lift, this freshness at the end. Gorgeous wine, Stu. Congratulations. Wow, fantastic. And in Puerto Rico is what, 110, 120 or thereabouts?
I would say
I'll find the price and put it in the caption. Delicious. And why are we tasting this first? Like, is this your entry level wine?
This is our entry level wine.
Oh my God, your entry level would be the icon wine of any other winery. My God, what a wine. Delicious. All right, let's get into the former RMS, now RKS, right?
That's correct.
Okay, what should I know about this one?
This is built like a Bordeaux.
Okay.
So this was the 2018, Dunnick rated this 98 points. It's 75% Cabernet. It comes from 2 of our Cabernet sources, the Tench Vineyard and Armstrong Ranch in Diamond Mountain. And it's 13% Cabernet Franc and 12% Merlot.
Again, a gorgeous nose from the Cap Franc. You start to get a little bit of that pepper, beautiful peppercorn note, and a bit of again the mint, the flowers, the herbal component, but obviously ingrained in that very rich fruit. It's fantastic because it creates this gorgeous tension between power and restraint. I love that. These are big boys. This is what, 15.2 alcohol? 15.6. But it doesn't feel, hot. It doesn't feel tired. Sometimes wines with this high octanage can feel a little disjointed. And here you have this incredible clarity. So what are you trying to express to your consumers through this, these first 2 wines, which are all about power, but control power? I always say that you can go 200 miles an hour in a Ferrari and you don't even notice it. If you go 200 miles in a Fiat, you'll probably end up in a ditch.
Right.
What's the philosophy behind these wines?
Well, with any wine that Russell makes, they're so approachable from day one. As you saw here, we just opened these up and poured them. We didn't decant them. We didn't do anything special with the bottles other than what we poured them right into the glass and we're drinking them 10 minutes later. That's Russell's style. Russell's style is all the wines are so approachable. And so that's what we're trying to explain to people is you don't need to sit on this for 5 years. Yes, all these wines will last 20 plus years.
Of course.
But they're very drinkable and approachable right now.
And I have this that I didn't get in the first one. I don't know whether it's the oak treatment here, but I have this lovely sensation of like dark salted chocolate at the end and a longer finish. Only 19 barrels produced, my God. And the fruit, you own part of it, you buy some fruit, or everything is state owned?
So our estate up on Diamond Mountain, all the fruit that comes from Armstrong Ranch is our estate fruit. The rest of the fruit we have contracts with very high-end vineyards that Russell can do his magic on.
let's get into the Oakville Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon. What can you share about this label right here?
So its neighbors are Screaming Eagle, Harlan, Bond, really high-end Oakville Cab. The earthiness in this wine is, to me, what makes this wine. This wine here is craving for a big ribeye steak.
Yeah, the minerality is
or a
it's
chocolate cake, or something that it's big, but it's a big wine, but it's so easy to drink.
But it's remarkable how, I mean, the first two are super expressive and really drinkable right now. Not that the third one isn't, but the third one is going to give so much with the passage of time. I mean, it's this telluric concentration of power that I think is a type of wine where the fourth glass will be much better than the first, just because it will open up. I mean, I feel this incredible richness that's about to burst. It's not there yet. It's starting to open up as you swirl it around. But you said minerality. I mean, there's even like this.
There's a tobacco scent in this. There's.
But there's more than that. It's like, I don't know if it's
the spice.
Ink, soy sauce. It's so complex. And it's just a baby. We're committing some kind of felony here. We're abusing a minor. You know that, right? There's got to be a, speaking as an attorney here, former prosecutor myself, there's got to be a statute that we're infringing. This wine will last 50 years. I mean, the concentration on the nose and the tension. Let's just give it a whirl. Not spitting this one. Oh my God.
So
What
in
a wine.
In 2014, this block at Tench was replanted. Russell replanted this and consulted a friend of his named Robert Parker. And Parker came out and he said that the block of fruit from here was a future 100-point
Yeah, it
part
is.
of the vineyard.
It is. I can see it. And you know, is it? I mean, is it? What's the age of the vineyard? Like the fruit? 40 years? 80s?
Believe it or not, this was fifth leaf. This block was planted in 2014.
But it drinks. I mean, all vineyards, whenever I've traveled in the world, are so wise, and I mean, they produce this wine that it's elegant, more feminine, more, I don't want to say delicate, but this wine that has this incredible acidity and minerality, and I can't believe this is a fairly young vineyard, because it's incredible how at the end the wine has this vibrancy and this gorgeous acidity. Great wines to me, even big reds like this one, have this clean and refreshing finish that reminds you of a white wine. It's crazy what I just said, but this is a glorious, glorious wine. This is going to be a 100-point wine for sure. And this is what, $250 thereabouts? More.
Our retail price is $195.
Well, this is incredible. You know, when I do this interviews here and content with them, they allow me to take a bottle home, and I think this is going to be the wine with your signature. What a wine. I have a 13-year-old, and just like you were mentioning your wife being part of everything you do, my wife the same. We've been together 21 years now. So when he was born, I went crazy because 2013 was a good vintage for Napa.
Very good.
So in 2015, I started buying wines by the case to be able to drink with him when he's of age, of course. 16, 17, of age, right? Well, the first glass, it's better for him to start with us, right? So this is the sort of wine that I am certain, if anybody listening out there has an important event happening in their lives in 2019, this is the kind of wine that will last 40, 50 years. The quality of the fruit here and the tannin structure, the freshness, the acidity, is just gorgeous too. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And what did Jeb give this wine? 99?
So this was, I think Jeb gave this 96 points, but Wine Advocate...
With a plus, because it's going to
Wine Advocate gave it 99.
It's unbelievable, the oak bill. All right, let's get into the piece de resistance. This is, why is it a different bottle? Is it a single vineyard?
This is all single vineyards. We do 4 single vineyards, and this is one of the 4. It's called the Huey Vineyard up on Pritchard Hill, farmed by David Abreu.
Hold on for a second, Stu. The last one, I was so enthralled by it that I forgot to ask. What's the blend, what's the coupage here, the grapes?
100% Cabernet Sauvignon.
The oak bill. It's unbelievable. It proves that Cabernet Sauvignon from Napa Valley, when it's this well made, nobody comes close second to it. I mean, Bordeaux obviously has blends, mostly blends. You don't see 100% Cab there. In Chile, you see something, but this is at another level. All right, and this Huey Vineyard, this is 100% Cab again?
100% Cab, about 1,400 foot elevation, up above on the eastern slopes of Napa Valley. One thing I did not mention, in all of our wines, every wine we produce, we use 100% new French oak for everything.
Okay. This, I mean, just like the last one, has this, it's more complex than the first 2, of course. And when they say the dusty tannins and that smell of earth, the earthiness, I mean, the higher up you get in price and perhaps in quantity of production, the noses get so complex, and there's a lot of things that are happening at the same time that I've always believed that the best things in life you have to feel instead of yap about, right? Just feel them, smell them. It's a glorious nose again. What are you getting here? I wanna hear your take.
I get a lot of dark fruit.
Yes.
So I get a lot of the black cherry, black currants. I get a lot of the minerality.
And the minerality has like, when the minerality of a wine, whether it's a white or a red, I think it's very subjective, and you associate that minerality with a personal experience of you, whether that smells like a stone or whether that smells like, I don't know, perhaps in the case of reds, like iron and blood, and sometimes the minerality can.
So I get a lot of iron in this.
You get iron, yeah. I get iron as well, and there's this gorgeous sort of pencil shavings to it as well. Iron, of course. What a gorgeous wine. And what's the production here? Very limited, right?
So our single vineyards, all of our single vineyards, we do anywhere from 5 to 7, 8 barrels at the most. So typically 100 to 175 cases of wine.
These wines are unbelievable. It's my first time trying this last 2. And again, the elegance, the richness on the first of the first drink, or the attack, the first time it comes into your palate, and that fruit that you can bite into it, it's like having the fruit on your mouth. But then as it goes all the way through the post taste, the freshness, the lift, the drying sensation that you get from the natural astringency that it has to have, being, again, a very young wine. And again, we're committing some kind of felony here, drinking this so young. These are wines to last a lifetime that are approachable now for sure. But if we were having dinner with a group of friends, this is the type of wine, again, that the 4th or last glass would be so much better than the first, because it will open up. I mean, what a gorgeous, gorgeous wine. Thank you, Stu, so much. Let me ask you before we go, you say you make 4 single vineyards?
Yes.
And I think in one of the slides there I saw a white wine. What else is available? Because we have listeners from over 50 countries, a lot of them in the US, and maybe you want to touch on those wines that are not available for the moment here in Puerto Rico, but that you also have available for your customers.
Absolutely. So we're working with B. Fernandez right now, and bringing in a few other wines that, so we have 4 registered right now to bring in.
Which are these 4?
These 4. We're making a Chardonnay that they're going to register and bring in. It's a 2022. It's I'm a red guy, but it's
Well, you started off as a white guy.
Well, yeah. Well, I
Gotta remind you
I
that.
converted. Now I'm going back a little. So our Chardonnay is built more like a white Burgundy. I'm not a California Chardonnay person, but
Not a Rumbauer.
I'm not a Rombauer. You know, nothing against Rombauer.
Yeah, there's a style. There's a style.
But that's a style. My style is more white Burgundy, and so it's built more like a white Burgundy.
That's fantastic. And when can we expect that next year here in Puerto Rico?
Absolutely. Then we also make a Sauvignon Blanc that we pour at the winery. It comes from the Mulvaney Vineyard in Bennett Valley's Mount Sonoma. And then our single vineyards that we do the Armstrong Ranch, the estate. It is a 100-point vineyard and makes 100-point wines. And so,
of course.
And then we have the Sugarloaf Mountain. So the Sugarloaf Mountain is not a Cabernet. It's 70% Cabernet Franc and 30% Merlot. And it's the best 6 or 7 barrels that we get out of that. And then the rest go into the Project 18, the RMS, which is now the RKS, and some other private label wines that we do.
These are fantastic wines. Thank you, Stu. Thank you, Karen, for your time, for your visit. Hopefully, we'll get together again sometime soon. Hopefully, in the vineyard, in the winery. I'll bring my drone, fly it around, show people.
You'll have a great time. We have the best views of Napa Valley. I'll show you a quick view of Armstrong Ranch. So this is.
And if you have any video, you can send it as well. If your marketing team has a video, I can share it with the viewers in social media for sure. Thank you so much. Mi gente, qué vinos espectaculares los del señor Stu Lerner y su esposa Karen. Lerner Project, unos vinos de Napa Valley inolvidables. Vinos que bordean la perfección. Y los últimos 2 que he probado son vinos perfectos. Perfectos en el sentido de que no tienen fallas, no tienen defectos. A friend of mine, José Peñín, one of the most salient, prominent authorities on Spanish wines, he's 82 now, but he started writing and commenting on wine 50 years ago, and we had that conversation about what makes a perfect wine, and the answer was very simple: a wine that has no defects, like has, it's. And these last 2 wines for me have nothing negative or nothing that's out of place. Fantastic wines. Again, I'm telling my goodbyes to the audience and saying that these are wines that I'm a huge, not American football, but soccer, that in Europe they call it football as well. And these first 2 wines are wines that you shoot at the goal and they hit the bar. I mean, they're bordering perfection. Bordering, like right there. These last 2 are perfect wines.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic wines. Mi gente, vengan a buscar estos vinos aquí al almacén del vino Lerner Project. Son joyas de Napa Valley. Gracias por su sintonía. Recuerden este episodio, compartirlo con quien usted entienda le pueda dar uso, suscribirse, seguirnos en el podcast y recordar que en el mundo del vino lo más importante no es la meta o el destino, sino el viaje y el recorrido, una copa a la vez. Cheers, my friend. Thank you for this. It's been a fantastic tasting. Gracias, muchas gracias. Bye bye. Este fue el episodio de hoy. Recuerda dejarnos una reseña para que nos ayudes a crecer, suscribirte y recomendarnos con tus amigos amantes del vino. No importa cuán avanzado estés en el recorrido de enamorarte de aquello que decían sobre el vino. Son uvas transformadas en poesía. Aquí hay espacio para todos. Salud y como siempre, dale share.